Prior to getting married, my wife and I saved enough not only for the wedding, but to have a little honeymoon after. After deciding though that we for sure wanted to go on a honeymoon, wondering where was the question we asked ourselves time and time again. We both decided that we've been to New Zealand already and we've been to the mainland, so we didn't want to go somewhere where we could easily go again. My wife loves Disney. And when I say love, I mean like love. Like it's a close second to how much she loves me. She's like Disney everything, and it's honestly impossible to watch any Disney movie with her because she knows all the words. After thinking about that thought, we realized, boom, why don't we go somewhere where there's a Disneyland? And then the next idea came, Japan has a Disneyland. Why don't we go there? We sealed the deal and booked our flights. Following our wedding, we packed our suitcases with everything we needed. The night before flying out, we were beyond excited for the new adventure that awaited us. Our flight itinerary consisted of flying to Kona, which is just a brief flight, and then we made our way to Japan. It was about 7 or so hours, and when we arrived there, it was about 11:30 p.m. local time. Around this time, it was the ending of the summer, and so I figured, it's gonna be hot, but shouldn't be too bad, you know? I thought being from Hawaii, I was like, I've experienced hot and humidity before. I've been here where there's days where it's like high 80s, no wind and high humidity, and I was like, if I can do that, I can handle Japan. I was wrong though, for sure. As soon as we stepped foot out of that airport, it was beyond hot. We caught a shuttle bus to our hotel, and the amount of respect the people in Japan have is unlike any other. Everyone in the hotel bowed as we walked by with a smile on their faces, and they really took care of us there. Our first day, we met up with a high school friend who lives there, and he showed us around a bit. We thought about renting a car, but after talking to some friends who traveled there and by doing some research, we realized that public transportation was probably the way to go. Other than the heat, there was a lot of positives that left me wanting to go back to Japan again sometime. First things first was the food. I'm just speechless thinking about it. It was so good. Literally, no matter where you went, it did not disappoint. The ramen, sushi, and udon, oh man, it's like you've never had before. One day we went to the Tsukiji fish market. We got some fresh mochi with fillings. The strawberry and the custard ones were definitely our favorites. We went back there right before we came back home, just so we could bring some home and show our family and friends. We also decided to do some sightseeing. We spent a day in Kyoto and another day in Osaka. Finally, the main event of our trip, as my wife would say, had arrived. Disneyland. To be completely honest, it was pretty much the same as every other Disneyland. The rides were the same, just everything happened to be in a different language. The next day, we went to Disney Sea, which is compared to California Adventure Park. It was amazing, and the decorations were astonishing. It really stood out, and it looked so cool just as we walked into the park. In total, I think we spent about 8 days there, and the one word I would use to describe Japan is that it was beyond organized. Despite being a big city, it was actually pretty clean. And I mean like not a single piece of rubbish was found on the ground. I would highly recommend, if you're gonna travel anywhere, that you do research prior to going. It may just kind of be common sense, but I can definitely see the significance that it had on our trip. We pretty much had something going on every day, but we did plan at least one rest day so that we kind of relax and enjoy. Just like any trip, you probably want to use your time wisely because you never know when you're going to be going back to that area. I can honestly say that if we hadn't done any research of Japan or how to get around or talk to people, we would have been so lost and clueless. Overall, the best advice I can give is just to follow the Scouts model and be prepared. Not just for traveling, but for anything in life, because you never know what's going to happen, and so it's always better to be prepared.